Yeah, let's talk a little bit about the women's division, man, in general. I feel like we've touched on it already with sort of both when we talk about the women's chamber and this exhibition match at the chamber as well. But there's been a report that's come out. Now, again, look, reports that come out about wrestling are always 50-50, because we don't really know what's real and what's not real. But a lot of articles are coming out here from a lot of different publications talking about backstage reports on frustrations within the women's division. So I think this is something that you and I have talked about quite a bit, even just, in our messages back and forth, as well as even on the channel here. But like there's definitely a concern around the women's division right now and what exactly is going on. What storylines are being played out? Where have they got lined up for WrestleMania, the big event coming up? We saw the Royal Rumble, which I thought was a pretty good event, but the ending was one that neither of us agreed with. We did not like that ending at all. We've got Queen Charlotte Flair back. It's so sad to say that like when you bring somebody back from an injury for so long, and they come back and they've come back to such a poor reception. It's a shame, but at the same time, this is all to do with the booking. Like I wish Charlotte Flair had come back, and just establish herself again, and we could have built up a level of respect for her. For her to come back here and to derail potentially a lot of storylines, it doesn't really work out well, man. But what do you feel about the women's wrestling right now? We're both fans of women's wrestling, but what do you think right now about how things are going?
Yeah, because if you think about stories on like the big stage, so stories that's like actually played out in the ring. Yeah, Charlotte is the only one, like Charlotte and Tiffy. But like we talked about
you.
Yeah. We talked about it before, like Naomi and Bianca, all of their storylines is backstage. They're never in the ring. Unless it's like something mixed into like the actual matches. Then besides that, like even Rhea Ripley's her storylines is just Io Sky, like I'll see you in whatever and all that. They just keep meeting so even Rhea, she's on the back burner now. So
I know.
If you think about it, it's like they're not like, besides Charlotte, they're not on the main stage anymore.
You're right. Like, I can't remember the last time I saw Rhea cut an impactful promo in the middle of the ring, which she's so good at doing. Like, we saw her do that with the whole Liv Morgan storyline, right? Like, she came out and she killed it with a couple promos. But since then, since she won it at Netflix, it's just kind of like she won the title. Now what? Doing that. I didn't even think about that point. Like how a lot of the women's division is relegated to backstage segments now.
Yeah, even Liv, like I love this heel run of Liv. Like I think I mentioned it before. Great. Yeah, she's entertaining. Like even the fact her entrance is the same entrance when she does the twirl and it has the same smile, but it's like it still feels fresh. Like it's just, but yeah. Even that, like all the her segments with the Judgment Day, all backstage.
All backstage.
With Carlito.
Yeah. Most of the time with in sort of the clubhouse. But yeah, that's a good point. Like it seems to be, and I think that's part of the frustration which people have maybe not really looked into as much, because that's a good point. Like the amount of time, women seems like they get less time anyway in general, but even like the time they get is less impactful. Even like people like Lara Valkyria, she won the championship recently, and then we had Chelsea Green won the championship recently as well. They both won championships, and the storylines have completely flattened out. Lara barely gets any screen time at all. Like she comes champion. In, she went to the side of the rings, and she's champion. Yeah, nothing. She's not in the Elimination Chamber. No match at the Elimination Chamber. Wouldn't it have made sense to have, instead of the Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte match, it would have made sense to have like it would have made sense more to have a Chelsea Green versus a new competitor at the PLE, because she's from Toronto as well, so you can't use the excuse of, not putting Canadians on the big stage or anything like that, or hometown wrestlers. Or you could have had Lara Valkyria versus somebody with a story to defend the title, but no, they're revisiting Dakota Kai against Lara Valkyria for the second time. Like, no shade on either of them, but we've seen it before. Why are we doing it again? And then we're seeing Michin versus Chelsea Green for it feels like they just keep wrestling each other. Is there nobody else in the women's division right now to wrestle Chelsea Green? It just feels like it's so lackluster. But again, the point is all backstage. It's never in the front. Chelsea Green is somebody that can cut a mean promo, a funny promo, a good promo, but completely backstage. Nothing else.
But I was thinking of a good comparison. Like Malika. So Malika is my wife, y'all. Man, she brought us something I didn't notice. Cause she don't watch it, but she's always around when I watch it. So probably when I say this, it'll hit. It'll click. But she told me, why is Drew McIntyre, like every time you watching it, I'm always hearing his name. But see, if you think about it, Drew McIntyre doesn't have a title, but he's in every feud. He's like he's either starting each show or he's ending each show somehow.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a big deal.
Yeah, so if you look at somebody like Drew McIntyre, that's in every storyline, he's always like cutting promos, long promos, like like in the ring. If you think about somebody like him, like a lot of the men, but if you think about the women, you immediately go backstage. Like, okay, y'all, so I see where they're coming from now, because like all the men are up on the top and getting all the time.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's a good point. And like that's the thing that kind of frustrates me, because it's the same writers that do the stuff for, it's not like Drew McIntyre's in there writing up his scripts and making his plans or anything else, right? It's the same creative team that's doing it for everybody. But for some reason, you have like someone like Drew McIntyre who's able to excel without a title, because he has a good story and a good character. And look, part of that's also to do with him. He's also a very good wrestler and a good promo. He's worked himself into that as well. So all credit to him. But there's no one on the women's side that has even the equivalent to that. Nowhere near it. It's all backstage, as we've sort of talked about. No one comes out and cuts out a long promo or anything like that. The only ones I ever see that do it are either Nia Jax, who's done it for a long time, Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley, and I'm talking like over like 2024. So, we rarely see any promos from Bianca Belair anymore. Like, she doesn't come out and do much. Obviously, you have some limitations with people like Io Sky and Kairi Sane and some of them. That's understandable because of the language. But Bayley even feels like she comes in and out, but she has a lot of matches, but there's no like clear story for her as well. A lot of the times, ever since Damage Control, it feels like Bayley's just floating around and having matches. She's involved in everything, but there's nothing really there. Like, I don't know why they never revisited Damage Control or revisited that, because when Damage Control were around, they were at least coming out every week and opening shows and being like, we are running this show, and that was a lot of Bayley. Like, she was putting herself there against Becky Lynch, against whoever it would be. She'd always be around, but I don't see that anymore. Like, it's so uncommon. So I think the frustration is to do with a lot of just the time and how their time is just not valued as much or something like that. I don't want to say valued as much. It's just not. They're not shown as much. Like, I don't even Alexa Bliss. She came out, had a massive pop at Rumble, right? What's she done since? She's just had a couple backstage segments and a few matches. No welcome back. Nothing.
She got to save the women's division, especially she gets with Nikki Cross. Because what I saw from Nikki Cross, she's pretty good in the ring. She links up with Wyatt and Nikki Cross and gets some women's tag matches and get some more like storylines going with Liv and Raquel. Yeah, I see her kicking off the women's division again. Like the same way Liv and Rhea Ripley kind of made women matches exciting again.
Yeah. No, a lot of pressure on Alexa. Well, not really on Alexa so much, because I know that if Alexa is given like a role or a script or something to do, she'll do it. Like, I don't have any doubts about that. It's more about the creative team behind the scenes, because like me and John, when we talk about wrestling, we relate it more to movies than anything else, or TV shows. So it's not really to do with the wrestler a lot of the time. Sometimes it is, like it is to do with the actor, but a lot of the time it's to do with the writing and the script and sort of the story you're trying to tell. You can't give somebody crap and expect them to make something like basically make a miracle out of that. It's got to be a bit of a team effort, and that's where it's all clicked together for people like Drew McIntyre, where it's like you have a great performer, you have a great story, you have great writing, and you've made something great. We need something like that for the women's division. So
they shed enough to get like they deserve some good stories.
Yeah.